We are in the middle of a weird time of year, that week-long stretch between Christmas and New Year. Some call it Twixmas or Feral Week or Dead Week or Crimbo Limbo. These are all terrible, borderline disturbing names, and as a society, we can do better. But the point is, this time of year is typically pretty laid back. But not here at the news. No, tonight we have a story that might wake you up from that food coma, and I'm betting you're already pretty familiar with it. Maybe you've seen some of these headlines. Black Friday sets new online spending records. Record shoppers, online sales surge, and first $1 trillion holiday shopping season. These stories are everywhere right now, and you might see them and think, huh? What? Record spending, you say. Well, not me. Sure, I'm spending more on groceries than ever, but this year, my family had to cut back on the plane tickets and the Christmas gifts. And if you're saying that, you're not alone. You see, right alongside those headlines about record spending, you have others that say things like this. Majority plan to spend less on holiday gifts this year. Another headline, consumers are taking on more debt this holiday. So how can all of this be true at the same time? Well, I have an answer for you. And it's just one letter, K. There are a bunch of headlines about this, too. It's looking like a K-shaped holiday season. Here's why everybody is talking about a K-shaped economy. So what does that mean, that thing everybody is talking about? What is a K-shaped economy? Well, the K refers to the shape of the graph, a graph that illustrates how the U.S. economy has recovered since COVID. The two lines, one representing industries like tech and software, and the other representing things like hospitality and food services. Both lines dropped during COVID, both of them, but since then, they've reacted differently. The two lines have split, going in different directions, and the split kind of looks like a K a little bit. But those lines don't just represent industries, do they? They also represent people. One group succeeding, the other group struggling. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce put out that graph in 2020. So clearly they had a feeling that this could become pretty relevant, that this could happen the way it's been happening. The thing is, economic recoveries and their graphs don't always look like this. In fact, they sometimes look like other letters. For instance, after a recession in the 1950s, the economy rebounded in a V shape. This is kind of the best possible scenario. This is a quick downturn followed by a quick recovery. A recession in the 1970s saw a U-shaped recovery. The economy was down in the dumps for a little while, but then eventually recovered. In the 1980s, it looked like a W. A recession to a brief rebound, and then another downturn before a more long-term recovery. Now, the worst case scenario is what happened during the Great Depression. The economy tanked, and then it flatlined. That graph is called an L shape. America literally took an L. But you see, those graphs have something in common, right? They only have one line. The different sectors of the economy all generally moving in the same direction, up and down. But remember, the K shape has two lines, doesn't it? Here it is again. One line going up, one line going down. An upper arm and a lower arm. Different people and different parts of the economy headed in different directions. The upper arm represents the top earners, the people with the big bucks, big salaries, lots of assets, things like stock portfolios and real estate with values that have exploded in many cases in the past 5 years. The top earners are also the top spenders, keeping the overall economy afloat. Now that lower arm represents everyone else, with wages that didn't quite keep up with inflation, with homes that they rent, and investments that are tied up in retirement funds. For many in this group, more spending means more debt, putting the overall economy at risk along with it. Here's how NC State economist Mike Walden puts it.
Those are the two biggest concerns, at least I have. Sort of dissension, unpleasantness, people feeling that, hey, someone else is getting ahead, I'm not. We don't want that for society. And then the second bad thing it could be is slowing economic growth. Maybe not a recession, but just slowing down. When the economy slows down, now that does affect richer people. So it's pretty much bad for everyone.
So how do we fix this? What do we do? How do we push that lower arm of the K closer to the upper arm? Well, Walden says companies need to do something. They need to grow. Now, that could be confusing because right now unemployment numbers, if you've been paying attention nationwide, are historically low, right? But those numbers don't tell the whole story. While companies are not collapsing, they are hesitating, reluctant to invest in growth. And we have seen this in news stories too. We've seen the hiring freezes, fewer new positions opening up, hours getting cut. College graduates, have you talked to any of them trying to get a job? They are struggling to get new jobs now at rates similar to the Great Recession. Some big reasons for this: higher interest rates, for one, inflation, tariffs, and AI.
Whenever businesses face a lot of uncertainty, what do? They try to stand pat. They're not going to take on big investments. They're probably not going to try to hire a lot of people. They're not going to give pay raises. So I think that's a kind of environment. That's one of the reasons we're in this kind of environment.
So it's a bit of a perfect storm, right? A bunch of different things. You have high interest rates that make expansion more expensive, the higher costs from things like inflation and tariffs that don't just mean higher prices, they mean cuts within the companies. And before they jack up prices and drive away customers, companies will freeze things like hiring, or they will cut benefits. Then you have AI. Right? Remember this headline from back in October? Amazon lays off 14,000 corporate workers as it invests in more AI. Not people, AI. Many large corporations and companies are either in lockstep with Amazon in this type of thinking and preparedness, or they're not far behind. These are forces that, for most of us, are well beyond our control. So what can we do as an individual? Well, Walden thinks it's time to be frugal, especially as most Americans will most likely see a bit more money in 2026 after tax breaks in the big, beautiful bill.
If you're looking in the market for a new car, if you had your car 10 years ahead, it's time for a new one. Don't do it. Don't do it. If your house is getting too small and you want to move up to a bigger house, which would be a bigger mortgage payment, don't do it. Cut back on your vacations. Try to shop carefully.
Spend less, save more. Unfortunately, if everyone listens to him, that too could tank the economy. It is a bit of a conundrum, don't you think? If people stop spending, things will slow, and that slowdown could lead to a recession. So we need people to keep spending, even though many of them are doing so with a credit card. The lower arm of the economy has record debt, while the top continues to consolidate assets, creating that K, strengthening that K. It's a pattern that, if we keep going, is destined for a reckoning. And if we're not careful, America might take another L. Let me know what you think about this. Send me an email to 7pm@WRAL.com. We're using that new email. We keep rolling it out for you to get feedback from about our newscast, what you want to see. You can still use the Dan@WRAL.com email. Go ahead if you want, but we like that 7 p.m. email. That inbox works just as well as the other one. Keep them coming. Tell me what is on your mind, and we will go in depth.